and make recommendations on the same during the next meeting of the board. As requested by Brother Eugene, a review of the existing start of accounts and recommendations on the same be likewise submitted during the next meeting. B, GA Resolution number 4 on the necessity of hiring professionals to ensure the success of ongoing and prospective projects on poverty emancipation through the development of cooperative enterprises. The board was authorized to provide for the allocation of reasonable professional fees and allowances for the management teams assigned for the different projects. Whereupon, on motion by Brother Jomar, seconded by Brother Buboy, the board adopted the following resolution. Board Resolution number 6/2020, be it resolved, as it is hereby resolved, to provide for the following allowances in every meeting of the management teams assigned to make plans and implement the ongoing and future projects of the corporation under its corporal works of mercy. Project Chairman, Vice President, 1,500. Members, technical staff, 1,000. Resolved further that said allowances be made to apply to actual meetings here in FY 2019 for purposes of the same projects. Approved unanimously. Third, presentation of project plans. The BPs for the different projects presented the general overview of the respective undertakings discovered. A, Co-op Bank, Co-op Cash, and Co-op NEP. The financial services solution for the unbanked. B, Co-op Mart. The integrated warehouse and online store solutions. C, Co-op Transport. The transport services solution for the delivery, fulfillment of the Co-op Mart and ride-hailing services for the members. D, renewable energy and water production for the magnificent communities. After the deliberation on each one of them, on motion by Brother Jomar and seconded by Brother Buboy, the following resolution was approved. Board Resolution number 7/2020, be it resolved, as it is hereby resolved, to grant Brother Edgar Quinto the authority to officially represent the Marian family Cenacles of prayer in securing the commitment of the Caraga People's Agricultural Cooperative to take the lead in the establishment of the magnificent community. Resolved further to grant Brother Edgar the authority to recognize with the suppliers of industrial solutions for the magnificent community of CPAC, provided that the terms and conditions of any such agreement shall be subject to final approval by the board. Approved unanimously. Number 4, new business. Number 5, new business. Number 1, Brother Ed expounded on the vision of the CPAC magnificent community to be set up in Carmen Agusan del Norte. He pointed out that such intervention in transport cooperatives into integrated cooperative enterprises could be replicated in other parts of the country to liberate the poor from the shackles of poverty. Among others, he informed the board that several requests for assistance were also received for the establishment and management or R&D plans for the following cooperatives, replicating applicable development plans of Magnificat community, financial services, alternative energy solutions, transportation, and warehousing, as well as online stores. DOT, ATDA Transport Services Cooperative, a duly registered transport cooperative appointed by the city government of Pasay City as a cluster representative to the following local spatial bodies: Local Development Council, Local Health Board, Local School Board, and Peace and Order Council. B. San Francisco Association of Differently Able Person Multipurpose Cooperative. C. Buena Vista, Nasipit, and Carmen Transport Cooperative, Benascar. 2. Project Financing Strategies. These were duly noted by the board and scheduled for deliberation during the next board meeting. 6. Other business. It was noted that regularly documents shall be completed and submitted to SEC on or before the deadline of March 4, 2020. 7. Next meeting and adjournment. The next meeting was set at 10 a.m. on Saturday, March 28, 2020, at the place to be determined by the President in coordination with the Treasurer and Corporate Secretary. Whereupon there being a further business to discuss, the meeting was adjourned at 4:00 p.m. Yun po. Maraming salamat po. Any question?
Okay, thank you, Sister Mila.
We could see Sister Senny now. There.
I saw Sister Zen. Sister Zen, paano mo yung audio mo? Sister Zen, pwedeng ma-patch.
Ayun na, Sister.
Sister Sen.
Ayun.
Ano po?
Ayan na.
Hello, Sister Sen.
Opo. Ito na. Ito na ako, di ba? Walang video?
Meron.
Okay na ba?
Oo, nakikita ka na namin.
Okay, very good. Ay, nako, Diyos ko. Napi-freak out na ako dito kanina pa.
Okay lang, Sister.
Kaya hindi ako sumasagot nila. Tawag ng tawag. Naluloka na nga. Ayan. Okay na. Sige, makikinig na ako.
Okay.
Hello, Brad Romel. Brad Romel.
Hello?
Hello, Brad Romel.
What happened?
Opo.
Ayan.
Mr. Chairman, prior to approval of the minutes, I would like to request that virtual meetings such as this, through either Zoom or any other application, be considered as officially having been done in accordance with our bylaws. Number two, that the minutes as presented by Sister Mila be approved as presented.
Is that a motion, Brad?
Motions made. Motions made. Two motions.
Two motions by Brother Eugene
Okay.
for allowing virtual Board of Trustees meeting as the new normal and the approval of the minutes
Okay.
as presented.
I second the motion.
Brother Boboy has seconded of Brother Eugene. Walang objection. So no objection. The motion is passed. By the way, lahat po nakakuha ng ng agenda natin, ng copy ng agenda, sent by email.
Yeah, I got the agenda.
We move now to the agenda, matters arising from the previous meeting. Brother Eugene, may sinasabi po kayo? Nakamute kayo.
Mute pala ako. On the matter, Mr. Chairman, of the financial interim financial statements, may we ask from the treasurer as to when this can possibly be presented to the board?
Mr. President and Mr. Chair, in view of the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions, our accountant has been constrained to deliver the necessary audited financial statement, and she told me that the filing of income tax return will be due on June 15 instead of April 15. And
Okay.
she's still preparing for it. And the filing for the SEC, for the submission to the SEC will be on June 30th. So that would be probably, I can give it to you, probably by next meeting or after June 30th.
Noted, Madam Treasurer. Number two, on the matter of project plans that requests from assistance from other cooperatives. Brother Ed, has there been any development pertinent to this request coming from other cooperatives?
Mr. President, the only request that I had was the request of the DOT ATDA Transport Cooperative. For the information of the other members of the board, DOT ATDA stands for Department of Tourism, Transport Development Association. They have been appointed by the city mayor of Pasay to manage all the transport cooperatives of Pasay City. In view of that authority, they have requested us, through me, that they have, if they could use the transport system of the co-op transport system. And I've said that is ongoing and that will be available in the next 8 to 10 months. So I told them, however, that is Joe Marlo still there? Brother Joe, because you have to leave at 10:30 kamo eh.
I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay.
By 10:30 pa naman.
Now, I was told, I told them that we are not simply going there with the co-op transport system that would be operating similarly with Uber or Grab. I told them that we are going to use that also for delivery. And it's timely because of the current condition, of the current restrictions for the COVID-19. The business model of delivery is really flourishing, right? So therefore, your application, Brother Joe Marlo, is very important so that we can connect. Now, it will serve as the fulfillment of online purchases, right? Or rather, the co-op transport and the co-op mart will serve as the fulfillment of online purchases of shoppers. And mind you, the shoppers will not only come in the Philippines. The shoppers will mostly come from the overseas Filipinos. That's what. But then I told them it will take about 8 to 10 months before it's operational. That's for the information of the board. So even if we are developing this for CPAC, we can actually adjust this for any cooperative that would need such assistance. Okay. Any question about that model?
That is very nice. So we will be expecting some developments here, perhaps within the next 3 months, no?
Well, Brad, that would now be dependent on our fundraising capability because.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
So anyway, let me not touch on that for now. Let's start it as the subject matter.
Okay. I have no further question, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, nakamute pala. Thank you, Brother Eugene. So shall we move to the next item? The ongoing.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. I forgot one more item.
Okay, Brother.
On the application of co-op transport as a ride-sharing app, that is also expected by the members of CPAC. These are the Federation of Transport Cooperatives of Agusan del Norte. They have also requested us. Okay. So the application of there, that will be purely on the co-op transport as a ride-sharing system. It's not actually ride-sharing, but because these are transport cooperatives, the passenger will be able to locate incoming trains or incoming buses. Okay? That's how they will use it. Right. That's the addendum, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Brother. So we now move on to the item 4 of our agenda, ongoing business. The CPAC board resolution and confirmation of official response.
Mr. Chair, we earlier responded to the request of Brother Francis Loque of CPAC, sending us the resolution for us to act on the request, to which we sent a formal communication informing him of the status that were taken by the various project leads, no, on the specific projects that we intend to implement in Agusan through them. May I request for confirmation or that the board take note of the response made to Brother Francis and that the same be considered part of the official records of the Magnip of the Marian Cenacles.
Okay. So we take note of that, Brother Eugene. We have submitted our response, yes, if I recall it right, towards the end of March. Okay. Next item is the status report project leads. Sino po ang
Perhaps we can start with Brother Orly, who has been working on the on infrastructure development.
Bro,
Brad,
may I suggest bro na si Brother Jomar muna kasi aalis yata siya ng 10:30.
Ay, opo.
I agree. I agree. Sige, please.
Okay.
I defer to the suggestion.
Okay, Brother Jomar po. Brother Jomar?
okay, good morning. With regards to our co-op mart, the development is still ongoing, and then my developers are still waiting, of course, for the payment system to be connected with the co-op mart, because our e-commerce cannot move if the payment system will not be fulfilled first. So our development team with Brother Boboy is still working for the other counterpart for the payment, because the e-commerce will be working with two other development teams, which is the payment and the delivery. So without fulfilling those two, the co-op mart cannot proceed to the final of its development, because it will be connected first. So we have uh, the preliminary um, system format, and then it was being sent to Tito Ed, and it was reflected on his paper last time. So the only thing that we need there is the fulfillment part of the system, because that is very important part of the co-op mart. So of course, with respect to the development team, my concern is we have not yet paid them even a little out, but they're still working for it.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Joe Marlock. My question is, I'm impressed what you have been doing, what is available on hand right now. Now, you made mention that it's critical that it should be connected to the payment system. We have been given the BRS. BRS, for the information of everyone, is called Business Requirement Specifications. That is a set of procedures that we have to approve among us and then forward it to the third-party developer, which is Coreware, so we can start the development. My question for the two of you, Brother Joe Marlo and Brother Boboy, is have we submitted, or when are we going to submit the duly completed BRS to Corware? That's the first question.
Maybe we will have to let Brother Boboy to answer the question.
Bro, sa tingin ko makakasubmit tayo this week. Kasi ang may hinihintay pa ako ng mga corrections na lang, yung spelling, mga minor corrections na lang bro ang kailangan. Kailangan ko si Brother Romel. Then after that, isa-submit hopefully ngayong Friday bro, may isa-submit natin sa Corware.
Okay. Salamat bro. My next question is, you know, it's not really a question. It's a scenario that we have to resolve now. We are going to submit that, and Corware definitely will also need our approval that we are going to suggest that the development team that he is going to hire will be coming from us, supervised by his own people. Because you see, Corware does not have the capacity to finance this development, right? They are going to use their existing people to do it, and if we are going to, they are going to do it. But if we are going to rely on that, they will have other priorities. So second-class citizen lang tayo doon. So what I would like to suggest, because when we go, first we submit to them, the next procedure is we are going to sit down with them. We are going to implement. When we are going to sit down with them, we've got to have the money on hand already, all right?
Yeah.
Meaning we are prepared to pay for, number one, the development server. We already have a development server there, right? We have an existing development server that we paid about, I think, over $7,000. And the problem with the development server, it's working, but it doesn't have a backup power. The backup power is only 12,000 pesos. That's not a problem. But it is operating. So we are going to say, use the development server that we have with you. Sa atin lang ito. And I suspect, ginagamit nila yon because the server is too huge. Yun, it's a network server. It's not doing anything. And I would say that how come you burn the backup supply if you are not using it, right? But anyway, be that as it may, we are going to, when we talk with them, okay, we will buy, we will dispute that anymore. Right? It's a no-brainer, brothers and sisters. You don't use an equipment, it will not die down by itself, correct?
Yeah.
This is especially so, it's industrial grade power supply. Anyway, we are not going to dispute that anymore. And we simply go ahead and buy that 12,500 power supply and the development's there. That's number one. Number two, said, okay, we need to support you with manpower. We've got to bring in the manpower coming from Brother Joe Marlo. Right, Brother Joe Marlo, do you have those people that will do that with them?
Yes, sir.
That's the reason why you're asking for 1 million. I said, no, you need about 1.2 million. And I said, let's even increase it to 1.5, right? For contingencies. So we are going to tell them, we've got to have our own people working with your people side by side. You have to insist on that, right? You have to insist on that. Number two, he's going to insist again that the network processing will be done in a data center controlled by him. Well, we know the reason behind that, right? And that's the reason why I have been insisting that it should be in Amazon. Do you agree with me, Brother Joe Marlo and the Brother Boboy? We have to insist that it should be we have to use the AWS. the Amazon Web Services. Do you agree?
Yeah, for me, Brother Ed, I agree na nasa AWS siya. Kasi halos nasa cloud talagang lahat naman siguro ng mga banks, halos puro AWS sila eh. So,
Look, my son is with Accenture. They have several clients who are commercial banks in the United States. And said, Pops, what are you doing? Why are you trying to establish a data center? All the banks in America are using the cloud services.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? So that's, and again, that will be another point of view. But we have to insist. Right? Number 3, we have to present to them, Brother Boboy, the revenue sharing, not using the 1% assumption.
Yeah.
Let's use 5% assumption, because then the expected revenue there is for Cover is over 600 million. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if everybody's familiar with what Brother Boboy have been doing, we've been doing a pencil pushing, using sensitivity analysis, using conservative estimates. And I told him, it's too good to be true in 5%. 5%, meaning if there are of the class C, D, and E, only 5% of them will buy online. And the revenue share is still 600 million, over 600 million. And I said, let's do further a more conservative estimate by making it, instead of 5% market penetration, let's use 1% na lang. At a minimum order is no longer 500 but 1,000. And again, the revenue share is still 300 million. We are not going to show that, Brad, sa Coreware, yung 1% assumption. Let's use the 5%, 600 million. You know why? I will tell Coreware, you've got this. This is not only yours. We have to tell them this 10% is not only yours. Remember, we have our own people there.
Yeah, exactly.
And Marian Cenacles has to operate too. We've got to give Marian Cenacles some revenue share of your 10%, of that 10%. All right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Oh, the original model that I had with him when we were working with Andreco, 60-40 in favor of Corpus Canada. And he agreed to that, right? So therefore, today, we are simply going back to that. And of course, he will not agree to 60-40 anymore. So, okay, even 50-50, payag na kami doon. Of the revenue share, that 10% ABEX recurring revenue na CTI doon should not only be CTI, but it should also be Marian Cenacles or Faith Corps of Canada. And I'm sure Brother Steve will not disagree with that. Right, Brother Steve? No, Brother Mark. So, Brother Mark, at least we have some recurring revenues.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is we go back to them. We've got these three proposals to make. Number 1, we provide backup server for the development server. Number 2, we provide our own people. Number 3, we put the services on the cloud. Or number 4, I'm sorry, is the revenue sharing of the 10%, right? Is there any question about that or any clarification anyone of the board would like to ask? If you have seen our calculations with Brother Boboy, you have been for. So the revenue share of CTI, that's Coreware Technology Incorporated, is 10%. Sobrang laki yan.
Bro, i-share ko dito yung screen ko, bro, na mayroong calculation para makita ng iba.
Sige.
Wait lang, bro. Nakikita niyo yung screen ko?
Very nice.
Yes po.
Dito, binabanggit ni Brother Ed, itong CDE purchase ng fast-moving consumer goods, 1%. Kung i-change natin ito ng, say, 5%, magbabago itong yung Apex revenue, which is ito yung calculations noon, yung Apex revenue is out of the 40% marketing plan, 1/5 yan mapupunta sa Apex. So, makikita natin pa sa 5% ay mayroon siyang 624,000. Ngayon, ang may binanggit si Brother Ed na CTI, which is 10%, itong 10% of the, 10% ng total markup. Kaya malaki talaga ito, 650,000 plus another pa dito sa co-op delivery, which is 130. May substantial amount of money talagang mapupunta dyan sa CTI kung i-approve natin na dapat itong CTI shared ito nung manpower natin, labor natin na i-hire para sa kanila.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yun bro.
So it's instead of CTI lang yan, Brad, it should you put there also Marian Cenacles. And then from Marian Cenacles, we share that with FACO in Canada, so we can start the listing process also in Canada already. We've got to show some revenues to be able to start talking about going listing in the Canadian stock exchanges. And that is for the benefit of I, but also for the benefit of phase 4, because phase 4 will increase in the value in the stock market. It will go back to them, not in form of cash, but in form of value of shares of stock. Do you follow?
Yes, Brad. Yes, Brad.
Yeah. That's 650 million. If you go to the stock exchange and assuming that this net income, no, that will be considered actually, well, assuming that net income to that is 10% or 65 million, and then the moment you go to the stock exchange, the price earning ratio mechanism comes in, meaning if your net income is 65 million and your PE ratio is 20:1, which is the PE ratio of the information technology industry, 20:1. Every time you earn $1 earnings per share, the value of your stocks is $20.
Mm.
5 million. Therefore, the value of your stocks is multiply that by 20 times. That's the difference between having a company whereby if every time the stockholders need money, they withdraw from the company, you reduce the cash availability of the company. But when you are publicly listed, instead of getting money from the drawers of your company or from the cashier of your company, you sell your stocks. So you do not bother the cash flow of your company. Okay? So if, for example, you have one share valued at $1 and the earnings of that is $1, now you can sell, you don't have to withdraw $1. You sell $20 worth of shares of stocks. Okay? So in applying this in this particular instance, the 650 million, if that contributes 10% on the net income, which is 65 million, 20, therefore, the value of your stocks is 1.2 billion. Dollars na yan, ha? Dollars na yan. Because that will be denominated in dollars. Kaya masyadong malaki yan. We will have to explain that thoroughly because these people do not understand the mechanics of capital markets too. But let me handle that explanation. So in other words, for the members of the board, so we've got to consider 4 items when we discuss with Forware, right? Right? Summarize. 1 is the trivial issue of power supply. 2, the issue of manpower. 3, the issue
Share.
network processing, network processing. And number 4, revenue sharing. Assuming for the sake of discussion that they do not agree. Brother Joe Marlo, quick question for you. Are you still there?
Wala na si Brother Jomar, bro.
A quick question, Brother Boboy. A quick question is, do we have the capability to manage this ourselves? Do we have the technical capability? Can we hire people to do it for us?
I think, bro, with the capabilities ni Brother Jomar,
I think so.
as of now, mayroon siyang dalawang trusted niyang mga programmers. Ayun ang immediate kagad na ma-pull out niya. Then, sa tingin ko naman management-wise, kaya ni Brother Jomar. I have that confidence.
I think we can do that. And the second alternative, of course, we go back to our friend, si Robic Maranan.
Yeah.
Available kagad yun. We don't have to wait for any development time. In fact, that is my second alternative. For the information of everybody, we have a strategic partner that will interface with our co-op cash so that our co-op cash can be honored in 42,000 locations nationwide.
Agree,
Okay.
bro. Agree.
We have that. And he had agreed to create a private label for us. So instead of calling it his own technology, he will call it, he's willingly to rebrand it and call it a co-op cash. Okay, that's for the information of everyone. All right?
Okay, brother. Okay.
So, yun dun sa report ni Brother Joe, Brother Boboy, with the help of Brother Ed. Now, punta po tayo kay Brother Orly. Brother Orly.
Okay, good morning to everybody ulit, brothers and sisters.
Ganda.
So, ang status nung sa CPAC, yung scope of work, halos nagawa ko na yung pinaka-scope of works niya, yung guideline. No? So, it's a matter of refining it, polishing it, pagdating ng mga information na kailangan. Pero yung format, nagawa na, dadagdag na lang yung actual na mga proposal quotation ng mga vendors list. So I'm just awaiting feedback, mga remarks na pwedeng isama na.
Nagba-bounce bro ang sound mo.
Kasi gamit ko paano kay.
Okay.
Subukan ko ang ganyan. Kung gamit ko Ang okay, ko na lang lahat So ang sabi ko, nagawa na ko na yung scoping, yung database niya, yung format. Ngayon, sinag-din at kay Ed para i-refine nila yon kung ano yung, kung mayroon dapat idagdag doon na hindi ko na isama. Then after that siguro, isa-circulate na sa lahat sa atin para for our inputs. But meantime, dahil pa natin na-determine kung kuha i-award yung mga lump sum turnkey contractor, sabihin na natin, yung mga main na trabaho, gumawa muna ako ng basis lang muna para ma-distribute yung mga potential na supplier vendors. Then as time goes by, habang nakikipag-arrange tayo for finality, that's the time na i-refine natin yung statements na nandyan sa scope of work. Pero ang mga concern ko, dun sa scope, una, hindi pa natin alam ang source ng tubig kasi ang pinaka-pan ng hydrogen power is water. Hindi mo natin alam yung viable source of water that would assure us 100% na kayang ibigay yung demand ng power generation. That's one thing, no? Ikalawa, yung lot, hindi pa natin na-define mismo yun kung ano ang probability na maging feasible yun at magbibigay ng maximum yield. So, nandun lahat sa kung ginawa kong scope yun for us to evaluate. So, yun muna lang ang masasabi ko. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Brother
Brother Buboy, mailalagay ba natin sa screen yung pinadala natin via email na diagram nung layout nung kanya, yung nung ano ni Brother Orly, yung sa electric and water?
Sige bro.
May kopya ka?
I-share ko sa screen ko, bro.
Perhaps Brother Orly can properly explain it.
Oh, sige, habang nandun na. Okay.
Hindi.
Diagram yun.
It's a diagram, one-page diagram.
Then I can explain it better there.
Wala yata ako, bro.
Actually, kanina ko lang, Brad, binigay. Okay, inapura ko. Saka,
nasa email mo nasa email mo rin, brother.
Sige.
I think it's very crucial din eh.
Dito ito. Saan dito?
ayun yung isa. Kanan
Yan,
pa.
this one. Pinakakanan.
Okay.
And then, kanan pa, right?
Yeah.
So, I think, mas maganda siguro i-explain ko dito.
Dali po. Dali. Ay, nag-ano yung screen ko pa. Sandali po.
Okay.
Ayan, bro.
Okay, Brad, no? So, from this diagram, ang pinaka-focus mo ay yung reliable water source kasi yung hydrogen power generating plant sa tubig ito sa water. So the first thing we need to know is mag-source out tayo ng reliable water source na ang supply abundant na kayang supplyan tayo continuously. At granting na meron tayong available na water source, ano naman ang capacity nun? Ilang megawatts ang kayang ibigay dito sa hydrogen power generating plant. Okay, granting na itong water source na nahanap natin is sufficient para i-feed dito sa hydrogen power, then it will generate power. So for us to know the capacity of this hydrogen power generating plant, alamin muna natin ang power demand. Ano yung mga power demand? Ito yung mismong Magnificat community na nasa baba ng itong diagram. Ilan o kumpitin natin bawat bahay, ilang household, and so makukuha natin kung ilang kilowatts o megawatts kailangan. On top of this, meron din tayong mga ibang kailangan ng power and at the same time water tulad ng coconut production, itong mga manufacturing facilities. We have coconut production, bamboo production, and packaging warehousing. Ganon din yung processing plant facilities natin na fresh farm production, fresh fish, rice milling, cocoa processing, and so on and so forth, mga storage. So from here, dapat kayang isupply ng water source natin yung yield na kailangan nito. And also, kung isa lang ang source natin, wala tayong second backup. In case this fails, or halimbawa may equipment na nag-bug down, o kaya for some reason, kailangan ng maintenance, wala na tayong source because we are only depending on one source. which is the primary source, which is the hydrogen power generating plant. So I'm suggesting, it's only a suggestion, na kung pwede, magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na secondary backup, which is the either a solar power source or a windmill. No? Actually, nag-research ako dito sa Bangi yata, meron na silang successful itong windmill at saka solar. So we might adopt it. No? I think binasa ko yung funding nila galing din yata sa World Bank to so many agencies, no, kung paano pinassess. So. But I will not go to that extent. No? So in short, itong diagram na nandito, sinasabi lang niya from the water source to the end product, which is the power, the energy, and from that, kung may excess tayo, excess na power, ibebenta natin ito sa local electric, ANECO ba yun? O local electric company. Sa tubig naman, sa utility, local utility water service, doon natin ibibigay kung sobra. So, yun ang konto. And also, itong hydrogen nga is 24 hours. So, ang problema dito, kung just in case na mag-fail ito, the question is, what is a community without a power, without a water? So, kaya nag-suggest ako ng second alternative option natin, which is the wind and the solar. And you know, wind and solar, renewable energy yan. Ang solar, nandyan yan palagi. For as long as the sun is there, meron tayong solar. The same as the wind. Nandyan yan. Hindi, renewable yan. Ha? It's environmentally friendly. So for that reason, it's a suggestion kasi for one thing, how do we process this? It's something na it's beyond my, sabihin natin, capability how to embrace this idea na nilagay ko dito. So ito, if you will notice from the diagram, nandito lahat. So from the water source, it goes to a generating plant, then that time substation, then it goes to the transmission, then it goes to the distribution line. From the distribution line, pupunta yan sa manufacturing facilities and processing facilities, then to the housing of the Magnificent community. In excess of that, it goes to the local utility electric company or the water supply utility company. And kung may extra pa tayo at kaya pa nating i-filter, we can have a local drinking water station, filling station. So I think any comment from you brothers and sisters on this? Hello.
Thank you, Brother Orly. Any
Brad, you may have some input sa comment. Maisama ko dito. Ang hindi ko pala naisama dito kasi hindi ko pa masyado yung tinatawag na yung water, yung wastewater para sa agricultural in case the demand supply is too much. And also yung telecommunication, yung Wi-Fi at saka yung mga ganun, wala pa dito sa
Can I make the first comment?
Okay, Brad. Okay.
All right. Brad, I have noticed that you are connected to the national grid. The diagram is showing connections to the national grid power corporation. Is that correct? Wala akong narinig ah.
Brad, itong ginamit ko na diagram is only from the substation ng hydrogen going to the Magnificent community.
Yeah, for the information of the board, we are trying to bypass the national grid power corporation here because that is additional cost.
Okay.
That is additional cost. That's the reason also why, for the information of our members of the board, the national grid is owned by two powerful people. the group of Henry C. and Tony Coyoto, right?
Okay.
So those big power transmission that you see along the highways is owned by the National Power Grid. What they do is to get the power from the generating stations also of the big corporations. Like Meralco is buying it from power suppliers, like the power supply coming from Ramon Ang, which is coal-fired, power supply coming from the Aboitiz, also coal-fired. So lahat yun are endangering the environment. And it's an added cost also. Kaya tumataas ang ating mga electric bills because of that added cost. And when you transmit the power from a remote location and deliver to your house, it goes first to a substation owned by the power distribution, which could be the Meralco or the electric cooperative. And then those little posts that you have seen there, the owners of that are already the local electric cooperative or Meralco. So what we would like to do is to avoid using the national grid, simply connect directly to the network of the local electric cooperative. We don't really have to be close to the substation brand, di ba? All you need is, as long as you can, is it, I'm not a technical expert on this, but as long as there is a power or a post na pwede nating kapitan, can we connect already to the local grid with that? Is that possible, or do we really have to be beside the substation?
Actually, in response to your query, Brad, itong kon is like one community, itong ginawa ko. Nagkataon lang na nagamit kong template, yung instead na it looks like a national. So ito yung parang main, no? From the power source natin na hydrogen power, padaan sa isang substation. Kung hindi man substation, step up transformer, no? Ganito siya from DC to AC, mataas. For some reason yata, ginagawa nila mataas yung voltage. But it's within the community. And from that, magdadrop down ulit siya para pupunta sa mga houses. Ngayon, modify ko na lang itong symbol na ginamit ko na like one community na hindi nagdadaan sa national grid and national grid corporation. Kasi if you will look at the diagram, mula sa hydrogen power generation, dadaan sa ilang post ito, no? I just for. Then from that, pupunta na sa mga bahay ito dumaan sa national grid. Ngayon, nakalink lang dito yung para sa solar power as another power source, no? But we can say that this diagram only represents one community area within the community. Outside the community. So maybe what I'll do, papalitan ko na lang kasi confusing ito kung nakikita yung tower na ang tataas para national grid natin, no? I'll just simplify it and just make it simple, no?
Okay.
Hello, does it satisfy you? But outside yung national grid, probably no, outside of this company, itong drawing dito outside wala. Kung meron man nakalink to, ang nakalink lang doon sa local utility electric company, yun lang pupunta. Yung saan yung nearest na pagkakabitan, and the same with water. No? But kasi sa ngayon, di pa natin na-talk out. Kung saan tinatawag na interfacing tapping point.
Okay. All right. May I suggest that if everybody can use a headphone, so that we minimize the echo.
Yes, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, tingnan si Brother Steve, naka-headphone. Hindi nag-feedback.
I have a suggestion, Brother Ed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kasi yung sinabi ni Brad Orly, dadaan ng grid,
Yes.
dadaan ng mga power poste.
Yes.
Why not we just get a solar panel for each house, diretso na. So yung house na yun, connected to an electricity without passing any grid or poste. nandun na.
Actually,
Tapos community lang, di ba?
we've considered that, Brad, and as a matter of fact, our first study was based purely on solar, but now we are going to use that only as an alternative. You know why? Because we are preaching it, the reduction of emission, carbon dioxide emission. You know that it's only this technology of Brother Orly that could claim 99% reduction of carbon dioxide emission. Now, solar power, you could see that there's no carbon dioxide emission, but before you can have a solar power, you need to do mining of cobalt and nickel for the batteries, right?
Yeah.
The mining of cobalt and battery is also dangerous to the environment. And by the way, the Philippines is the second biggest producer of cobalt. We have that opportunity, next only to Congo. The only reason why Congo, mas madami sila, but the big companies like Panasonic, they're withdrawing from Congo because of the oppressive practices there, right?
Okay.
So they are establishing now mining operations in the Philippines for cobalt and nickel. And to me, every time there is mining, that is dangerous to the environment. So I tried, in fact, the electric vehicle model of Tesla, I could see that will be obsolete one of these days. The moment the hydrogen power is, we have the capability to generate hydrogen. Right now, we only generate hydrogen from on our own. We do electrolysis using available water. But a long-term plan really is to extract hydrogen from the Philippine deep. You know, the Philippine deep. The moment we can extract from the Philippine deep, we don't need this process anymore. Because instead of extracting oil from the ocean, we extract hydrogen. And we deliver it the way the oil is being delivered today. Right?
Right.
So ganun ang mangyayari sa atin. That is a long-term plan of Caraga. And if you do your internet search and you could see the potential, it's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. All right.
Got it. Thank you.
So, all right. Thanks anyway. Anyway, Brother Orly, I have a second question for you. Not really a second question. With this massive planning, you definitely need a lot of technical experts here. That's the reason why, after looking at your documents, our initial target was only to raise 50 million pesos or $1 million. But after looking at your document, I've said, this is not enough. We have to raise it to 250 million, right? That's the justification, and that's the reason why I have saying you'd be comfortable in starting to do some headhunting already of people that will join us, right? But the first $1 million will really be devoted to the co-op transport and the co-op part, because you know why? In 10 to 12 months, we have cash flows from there. All these things that we are doing, it may take 2 or 3 years before this will be implemented. Agreed, gentlemen and ladies? So in other words, you could see Magnificat as a very huge project. And I would like to share you some comments, and even Sister Sen was a personal witness to this. We were having lunch with an architect friend of mine, one of the top architects of Vancouver, who is being hired by multinational corporations. And his immediate reaction when I told him about this is, Ed, this is crazy. You need rich people to implement this. That was his first comment. Look, I am the architect of big corporations, and I don't have a problem with financing. And I asked him, Henry, sabi niya, where are you going to get the money to pay for all your people? Sabi ko, Henry, first thing, isn't it ikaw, without you, do you think that multinational company will survive? Without your technical expertise, do you think it will survive? And related to that, yung sabi nila, oh, yung mga malalaking kumpanya, malaki sila because may pera sila. Eh, saan nila, where did they get their money? The big corporations, where did they get their money? And the big corporations are being cheered by the government because they are paying taxes. So the big corporations are being cheered by the government because they pay taxes. Then they said, why is it that the big corporations successful? Because they could pay. And why could they pay? They earned money. And where did they get the revenues? From the poor people. See, you could see that it's the economic power of the poor people that empower the rich, the big corporations that could pay the taxes. They have the taxes, and they have this big corporation, the money to pay people like you. And he said, of course, okay, if you need me, I'll help, I'll support. Another guy, you must have seen the document about the economic freedom by Alejo Villanueva. Do you remember Alejo Villanueva, the economic freedom movement? He has written there what he has summarized what is the economic freedom movement. Alejo Villanueva, for your information, was a former professor of mine in college. So when I spoke to him, he said, you know, he was talking like a professor to the student, practically admonishing me. Sabi niya, kalokohan to, Ed. This is crazy. You need Andrew Tan to do this. You know why he mentioned Andrew Tan? Because he's a consultant of Andrew Tan. He's a director of Andrew Tan. And he said, and of course, the usual argument. The usual argument, why Andrew Tan became big. And then he kept quiet. And then he came back with that document, said, okay, I'm now a disciple of the economic freedom movement. You don't have to pay for this. Hindi ko sinulat yan. It was written by the Holy Spirit. So I'm now a disciple of the economic freedom movement. That is Alejo Villanueva. So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, you need a lot of people here, Brad. In the beginning, all you need to do is to ask them, are you willing to work on this project? And they will say, Sana Pera, just let me know if you're willing and how much are you willing to accept as payment for your services. Because they may not be Marian Cenacles devotees yet, but if you offer them the right package, we will offer them the right. That's the reason why I have increased the fundraising from 50 million to 250 million. The beauty of our fundraising is because we are a cooperative. As a cooperative, we don't have to prepare a prospectus. You know, in IPO, when you're doing an IPO, and when you start raising money, you cannot touch that money. If you say you target $100 million as your IPO, you need $100 million to float for your IPO. You cannot touch $1 or 10 million or 20 million unless the $100 million is completed. But because that is covered by the corporation code, we are covered by the cooperative code, we can use immediately. If 1,000 pesos comes in, $1,000 comes in, we can immediately use that. Okay? Our target is to initially mobilize Co-op Transport and Co-op Mart because that is a substantial cash flow that will come in the next 10 or 12 months for all of us. Okay? Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Excuse me, Brad. May verify lang. Ako. Kasi if you are suggesting na gagamitin natin solar panel only for the Magnificat community, how about yung mga manufacturing facilities na coconut production, bamboo production, packaging, warehousing, rice farm, rice fish, kailangan din ito ng substantial amount of water and power. So,
yes.
How can we source this out?
Hindi. Galing lahat yan, Brad, sa ano mo, sa power supply mo.
Oo nga. So,
yung comment ni Brother Steve he was suggesting an alternative.
No,
sabi ko, hindi, maaaring back up lang yan nung ating power station. Backup line ng power station natin yan. Alright?
Okay.
Because just
So,
like, you don't need really a very large solar generating power there. Right?
no, it's enough lang dito na i-sustain yung demand nitong isang community. So,
Hindi.
I can.
Ang understanding ko lang doon, Brad, is you have your hydrogen power. It's just like in a car. To start a car that run on gasoline, you need a battery to start it, correct?
Okay.
Yun lang ang pagkaintindi ko why you needed the solar panel. Just to start it. A backup.
Ang idea ko dito, Brad, yung hydrogen power, yan ang pinaka-main.
Yes,
power
it is.
Ngayon, in the event na hindi kaya nung water supply na kung saan man tayo mag-sort out, that's the time na meron yung solar at saka yung wind as a backup.
Yes.
Yung more than yung power na i-generate natin, that's the time we sell it to the local company.
Yes.
Parang ganun. Dito ang proposal ko. Lang tayo na anything na excess, electric company. Or sa water supply, local water supply natin, itatapon lang ng excess. But at least ang priority sa serve niya is itong community.
Yes. In fact, ang Magnificat community natin will be located in a 50 hectare port area. Kaya nakita may port area development doon. Somebody's offering already CPAC the use of their 50 hectare as a port area for our fishing industries at saka yung agricultural processing. You see, the water that you generate will be used to clean up the fresh produce because it's very clean. You extend the shelf life of the vegetables by 2 weeks. Okay? And from there, diretso na yan sa mga export market because you have the port area there. Right? And also, nandun din yung cannery sa may port area. But because they're all using clean water and clean power, there's no pollution in that area, there could be now residential areas for all the members around that or near their processing facilities. It will, in fact, extend beyond 50 hectares, maybe even neighboring properties, neighboring towns. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen of the board, do not be shy in presenting this model. You say it's a very huge, it's very big. But if you were to analyze it, the implementation of this is on a per project basis, right? Per project, and it's not being led by one individual. That's the reason why we have a project lead. He's practically the CEO of that operation. Like, for example, in your case, Brother Orly, you are the CEO. You are the visionary of that operation. Brother Boboy is the CEO of the transport, right? And the co-op cash. So, in other words, practically it's in the corporate, it's a company within a company. But when will it be operational? It will be operational maybe in the next 5 years. But first year, we have something operational. That's why we needed almost 250 million to pay off our experts to develop the bigger projects, the other projects, like particularly in your areas, Brother Orly.
Okay, thank you. So ang gagawin ko siguro, i-modify ko to again to input all your remarks para mas madaling maintindihan. No? That national grid is outside of this community, no? Mali lang, ang nailagay ko lang sa representation ng local pole na para sa community, para sa national grid.
Yeah, because then Brother Francis Loque will use that document when talking with ANECO. ANECO stands for Agusan del Norte Electric Cooperative. And yung general manager doon, pamangkin niya.
Okay.
That's his relationship there.
I see. Pero Brad, they will be involved in this project kasi yung sa excess power.
Oh yeah. That's the reason why. Yeah, definitely. There is huge excess power there.
Coordination between CPAC and ANECO.
Yeah, because then the German company can only deliver minimum 4 megawatt plant and up. They cannot deliver 1 megawatt. A minimum nila is 4 megawatts. Okay?
Again, Brad, my concern, meron na tayong water source kasi yun ang pinaka, kumbaga sa catalyst para tumakbo itong generator natin.
Well, I would recommend, because they have irrigation there. So we have to stay close for that source ng irrigation. Irrigation, hindi na ubusan ng tubig yan. Di ba?
Okay, thank you.
At saka river. Marami rin silang river.
Dami river. Okay, that's a good source.
How about salt water? Can it be a source? Salt water?
Well, but there will be a process na para alisin yung salt.
Yeah.
Parang desalination kung kukunin natin sa sea.
Yeah. And then you
good source,
and we produce a medical grade salt.
Pwede nilang
It's a medical grade. It's a medical grade salt ang byproduct nun. Okay, very good. Sige.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Sister?
Yes. I have a question to Brother Ed. Brother Ed, can you please expound more about the Philippine Deep Sea? Is that where we get water for the hydrogen project? Where is that?
Okay. All right. The Philippine Deep, sir, is just, that's what, or sometimes they call it the Philippine Trench. The Philippine Deep, why is it called Philippine Deep? Because it's one of the lowest, the deepest sea level in the world. One of the deepest sea level. Okay. It means that in water you have hydrogen and oxygen, correct?
Right.
All right. So when you have heavy water, it's no longer H2O. It becomes 2H2O. Yun yung hydrogen. Hydrogen is is similar to what you could see in your methane gas sa panluto. Yung mga Chilane or gasol, that is methane. That is actually hydrogen, but it's being produced out of fuel, byproduct ng oil yan. We don't want that, right? This one here, it's purely water. So when you extract that from the deepest ocean of the world, and that is located in the Caraga region, along the seaboard of Surigao. So if you can see that in the map, all the oceans around Surigao, which is part of Caraga, right? That is the Philippine Deep. But can that right now you cannot. It will take a while for us to extract hydrogen using the same process of the oil rig platform. You know, the big oil companies, they use oil rigs to extract oil from the ocean. It's similar to that platform. We're going to use that for extracting also hydrogen. Instead of extracting oil, you extract hydrogen there. And in the same process, anything that you extract, you put that in a tank, and that's delivered by the oil tankers. Instead of oil tankers delivering that, it's the same tankers of the big ships, but it will be containing hydrogen. Okay? And now you deliver that to gasoline stations, you deliver that to companies like Manila Gas, where it's being pumped. That gas is being pumped to the network. or you can put that in your to replace Chilean and Esogasol, right? Or you can use that to power a community. We are going to simply replace that power station with a hydrogen station that will deliver the power to the houses using the same networks, right?
Okay.
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 Did I answer
Okay.
that?
Thank you, brother.
So it's not something that is being, it's not in fact it's not part of this planning process. It's just, it's nice to learn, right?
It's called deuterium, right?
Deuterium. Thank you,
Deuterium.
Brother Mark. It's
Mhm.
called deuterium. Okay, and it's unthinkable how the Philippines can really become a world power because of deuterium. It's all over the internet about that. Yeah. Deuterium out of the Philippine Sea can replace all the oil reserves of the world. And I've been asking myself, why is it that it's not being done today? Right? But so we are not there to participate in that discussion yet. Well, what we should do is we simply start with where we are today, what we are trying to do. We generate hydrogen using electrolysis, meaning we have water here, we simply separate oxygen and hydrogen, right? That is what Brother Eloy is doing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Brother Ed.
Okay. Po, meron pa? Shall we move project kay Brother Buboy?
Bro, yung project bro na nabanggit halos na tackle na natin kanina, yung kay Brother Jomar. Ang pending lang talaga natin is masubmit natin yung BRS sa forward. Ang target ko is ngayong Friday after those correction. Then after Friday, yung points, yung 4 points na binanggit ni Brother Ed, yung backup power, yung manpower, yung AWS at saka revenue share. Ito yung magkakaroon ng mga meeting with Corwer at madidiscuss natin yung 4 na areas na ito. So far, yun ang status bro nung sa naka dito sa akin tungkol sa co-op transport. Back to you, bro.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Buboy.
Brother Buboy. Wow. Brother Buboy.
Hello, bro. Yes, bro.
Yeah, I was thinking if it may be better for you and Brother Orly to more or less coordinate, particularly on the infrastructure projects that you would want to integrate in the area in Agusan for purposes of your Wi-Fi and your shop, your co-op net, co-op cash, no? So interface can be done with what he's actually doing pagdating sa infrastructure. I don't know whether I'm getting through.
Oh yeah. So far, bro, yung infrastructure project sa free Wi-Fi, once na na rin natin dito, kasi usually ang Wi-Fi, run siya sa power transmission line. Kaya more or less, yung pinakita kanina ni Brother Orly na diagram, doon sa power transmission, magkakaroon ng fiber optic na para mag-run yung free Wi-Fi. It's one of our scope din dito sa Magdilis.
No.
Brother
Oh.
Eugene. Brother
Yeah,
Eugene, here.
yeah.
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 If I may add something to the comment of Brother Boboy.
Okay.
And I'm glad that Brother Mark is present. He's the guy that could take advantage of such network. You know, the background of Brother Mark is cable TV, and
Okay.
Wi-Fi technologies, right? So I'm sure Brother Mark will agree with me that we can deliver Wi-Fi signals around those areas, right? Using the Wi-Fi instead of using radio transmitters, he can use that. Fiber optics to be terminated and have a Wi-Fi, not only Wi-Fi but also cable TV in every residential home. Is that correct, Brother Mark?
Depends on the free Wi-Fi. Are we using the government Wi-Fi system to extend to the community?
All right. In our meeting with General Rio, he said he's not only allowing us to access the Wi-Fi from the LGUs that he's going to install.
Okay.
He is in fact going to pay us for delivering the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
What is his payment? Free bandwidth. So that means we now have a free bandwidth and we can use that according to our business model.
Okay.
All right.
So we will use all the access point from the NGO to the area that where all the our members are situated.
Yes.
Where we can also give them the opportunity to have cable.
Yes.
That's two parts. One is to have the Wi-Fi access. The other one is to integrate with a cell phone on the free Wi-Fi.
Yes.
So that they can have all our co-op cash payment system incorporated together with Jomalo.
Yeah.
That you can have both. You can have Messenger works on the free Wi-Fi.
Yes. And also, we do not, Brother Mark, we are not only going to rely on the Wi-Fi coming from the LGUs. General Rio is also spending 5 billion pesos a year for satellite transmission. Okay? That means we can also use that. But what he will allow that if we put up our own VSAT receivers. And what is a VSAT receiver? $1,000, you have a VSAT receiver, right? So we can have a VSAT receiver at a certain community, make it maybe industrial grade and spend another $50,000 for that. And you can serve, you can already
serve the whole community.
Whole community.
Yeah.
So instead of tapping the signal from the LGU by the time it gets to your location, because there are so many users there, right?
Yeah.
So the bandwidth will now be minimized.
Right.
But if we have a direct connection from satellite, then that is fresh. We can have, you know, I think I don't know, do the math. If he's paying 5 billion pesos a year for that, that's $100 million. He's paying $100 million to that satellite provider to distribute that in remote locations, right?
I'll look into the VSAT system where I can get some more details on that.
Yeah,
that will help us with our phone system, because that way we can reach out to more people our members for the free Wi-Fi as well as our payment system. It's all incorporated together.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And also that in every house they have this outside plug whereby you bring out the internet signal of the house to the outside your house within 500 meters.
And that one is your free Wi-Fi routers.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but your free Wi-Fi is also good for within the house. But you put up this little plug, right? Extender. It's a little plug that you plug outside your house, and it becomes now an extension of your Wi-Fi router from the inside to the outside. So you now multiply again another 500 meters from that plug. And I think this will only cost something like $50. That's what you call, brothers and sisters, of what we call BPL, or broadband over power lines. You're using the power lines of your house, could get the signal of your Wi-Fi from your inside the house, bring it outside your house for another 500 meters. Okay? That's just for the information of everyone. Because right now, when you have your Wi-Fi, the moment you step out your house, there's no more Wi-Fi signal, correct?
Depends how far you go, how strong the signals of the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but that power that you have from your house, you imagine extending that from the walls of your outside home.
Yeah.
Correct? So what you receive from your house, from inside your house, it's now available from the outside.
Yeah.
Sari store is a very good example of Sari's, because your Wi-Fi router may be inside your dining room, right? By the time you get out, the signal is already weak. So if you would like to bring the same power of your Wi-Fi inside your house to the outside, you've got to put up that plug.
That's an extended area where you can have more stability.
Yes.
Most of them, of the Sari store that I know, some of them, they have their own Wi-Fi. They charge people for that, for their use, so they can communicate with their families.
Yeah.
But most of them are intermittent.
Yeah, that's exactly. See, that's exactly the point. But if you have that BPL technology in one of your walls, what the power that you have inside is the same power that you have outside. Okay. All right.
Can I add some more to it?
Yes, Brad.
Because the reason why we use the Wi-Fi is to maintain a consistent what we call through our corp cache, is because we were using SMS before. Right now, Wi-Fi will give the corp cache a better system to do management of our co-op mart. At the same time, because we will have our own cell phone system, which is integrated towards all the co-op cache throughout platform, the whole platform for whole Philippines. And these are only members, so we are not against the cell phone company. So in fact, we are enhancing all the people who are in our cooperative, and this will help our Marian Cenacles reach out to more members.
Yeah, very good. Very good. For the information of everybody, Brother Mark is now actually working with a mobile or a phone manufacturing company that will custom design a mobile phone for co-op cash. Right? We can have more features about that later on, but you will be happy with that. Like for example, that phone, when you ride a public transport activated by co-op transport, you don't need a conductor anymore. All you have to do is to hop into that phone, into that bus. You get out, automatically your co-op cash is deducted. You don't have to bring out your beep card and then tap it there. So you don't have to do that. Just keep your phone in your pocket. You get inside, the system will know at what point did you board, and then the system will know at what point did you get out, disembark. And therefore, immediately the fare applied will be deducted from your co-op cash account.
That we deploying is the RFID system
Yes.
that is secure, more secure than the what we call the use barcode scanning.
Yeah. So, Brother Boboy, did you take note of that? They are integrating RFID in the mobile phone for co-op transport.
Yeah, I'm noting that down.
Yeah. Okay. It's something that will be integrated with your co-op transport later on. But Brother Mark is already working with that Chinese company to do that for us. Imagine you've got an RFID inside your phone. Yeah. You are not going to use the barcode.
We could use NFC as well, but for reliability, the RFID is, each phone has its own ID, so nobody can copy it. Whereas the barcode, you can copy it. So that's the main criteria that we pick up on the RFID.
That's good.
So even if you hack into the phone, you can only do with physically steal it, right? So you cannot duplicate it. So whereas the RFID, whereas the barcode, you could duplicate that, and you don't know who uses your ID.
Okay. So it's a nice come on for co-op transport, huh, Brother Boboy?
Yeah, no, Brad, no.
Wala nang cash talaga. There's no more cash.
Yeah, that's right.
You hop in, you get out, whether it's a bus, jeepney, or even a tricycle.
Pwede ba tayo, Brad, magkaroon pilot run, kahit maliit lang na area, let's say.
Yeah. That is not 6 months from now, Brad.
Okay.
Don't just move on, but it's just nice to know that you have some enhancement for your system once it's operational.
Yeah, good. Okay. I note that down, Brad. All right,
I'm trying to work it as quick as possible, but with the pandemic, the suppliers is trying to give me some samples so we can do some test run. But at this moment, I can't promise anything. Once I have it, I would love to test it myself too. So it's not just only for you; it's for everybody, so that we can not only help our Filipino people, because this is the revolution for everybody to to be able to capture the unbanked, right? So the security and also the protection, and this all go back to the people. It's not for our own.
It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Noted, Brad. Noted.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chair, that's all that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's great. So we can now move on to Sorry. Nagbabounce. Okay. So we now go to fifth item of the agenda. Oh, sorry. There is one more. The ongoing business. Confirmation of actions taken. Brother Eugene?
Mr. Chair, let us for the meantime proceed to new business, considering that the reports that were given to us by project leads are just initial reports, no? And we hope that we could have much more tangible achievements by next meeting.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Eugene. For the new business, the audio-visual presentation, we thank so much, Brother Steve, for those great presentation. Brother Eugene?
I would like to move that the Board of Trustees extend its deepest appreciation to Brother Steve for coming up with the audiovisual presentation on the spiritual works of mercy of the Marian Cenacles. And with the hope that a similar presentation can be done insofar as our ongoing corporal works of mercy is concerned. I have seen how the presentation made through Messenger. We hope we could add on to the information that is contained there. So our thanks, Brother Steve, and we hope to work further with you on another aspect, which is the corporal works of mercy.
Thank you. Will do.
So, thank you so much, Brother Steve. And solicitation of talents and investments for the new business.
Gentlemen, ladies of the board, we have tried to do a draft of solicitation to finance our initial expenses covering our involvement in SIPAC. If well, I call it a call to action, but then we can call it some other name sometime before we finalize it. And I am not really that confident that it is in the right format. While we have tried to justify the biblical and message of Mary as basis for what we are doing, and then we already have in place various projects for the target cooperative, and then the business model that goes with it. We still have to finalize this in the next few days with the help of Brother Ed, particularly in terms of the business model portion. How this will be more appealing to prospective investors is another case, no? So in fact, I have recommended to Brother Ed that we bring down the minimum from $1,000 to $500. Then he even made it up to $200. Well, then let's see. The sensitivity analysis, though, presents a picture that is too good to be true, no? And we're trying to validate all of these assumptions. But what we're saying is we need funds to get started, particularly the all of these projects pertinent to IT development and to infrastructure. And our estimate, it would cost us something like for all these grand projects, but just to kick it off or to jumpstart operations, we need something like 250 million pesos. Effectively, that's $5 million US, and divided into $500 each for overseas Filipino workers. We will have to reach out to so many people, no, and to support our cause. And kindly go through the proposed solicitation letter, and if you can provide some improvements on them, then please inform us. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Brother Eugene. And that letter was sent earlier to us, together with the other three documents sent by email. Any comments, questions about
Mr. Chair, just to highlight the solicitation proposal of Brother Eugene. Please note that the solicitation proposal is not only intended to cure the financing, but we also already would like to invite Filipinos who are willing to come in and participate with their technical expertise. So I hope that is clear enough in that it's stated in the draft letter already, draft proposal already, Brother Eugene. But I think the reader would immediately focus on the financial contribution. But I think there should be something that would say we need their assistance on two major items: their technical expertise and their financial contribution. Okay. So you know, even the first $1 million, even at $500, you only need 2,000 people, right? You only need 2,000 people, and you have already completed your $1 million. And why do you think this is attractive to Filipinos? Mind you, everybody is looking for high yield. It's not only that, the overseas Filipinos are proud to have a significant player in the market. Right? I have a personal experience on that when I brought Orion, my public company, in 1997 into the market. I did not realize that there were hundreds of Filipinos who bought in the shares. I did not realize that until after the IPO. So that business model I did in 1997 is nothing compared to what we are trying to do here. Nothing.
Thank you, Brother Ed. Perhaps the next thing that we should focus on would be how to operationalize our transaction with SIPAC. As funds come in directly to SIPAC, then and how SIPAC will go about utilizing these funds for the projects is another case. So perhaps those who are legally minded among us can help us draft the memorandum of agreement pertinent to the utilization of funds that will be sourced out from the members of Marian Cenacles.
We don't have the facilities of a legal aid unless we have a lawyer who is willing to do that right now. We'll find out if we have a lawyer in our ranks. But you know, Brad, what we can do when you transmit our proposal to CPAC for the approval of the board,
you should already incorporate there the need for a a memorandum of agreement to be signed by us. And then we can just say on the side that, Brother Francis, can you just originate, can you just draft the legal agreement on your side? And Brother Francis is accessible lawyer in Agusan del Mar.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
And by the way, that memorandum of agreement would simply state that 90% of the funds released by Antreco will be released for Marian Cenacles, and the 10% will be held by them to support our administrative requirements in the area. Okay. He has appreciated that. He was surprised when I recommended, and for the information of everybody, all the things concerning CPACARE has already been approved by Brother Francis, and he's in support with this, including the 90% of whatever loan proceeds coming out of Antreco will be directed to us, and they retain the 10% for them. Okay.
Brother Ed, may I suggest na next meeting natin, online meeting, makasama natin si Brother Francis?
Well, actually, I have been contacting him and this morning. He's unreachable. He's unreachable. That's the problem that's the network problem we encounter in his area. But I have spoken to him already about this 2 weeks ago, and he has already approved this. And I told him about our meeting, and he said he will attend. Then I called him, and he's not reachable. By the way, since last night, he was unreachable.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Ed. We'll try to improve on what we have right now and be guided by your suggestions. It would also be nice to have a follow-up meeting via Zoom again between the project leads and Brother Francis, with your help, of course, no? So that things can be traced out more clearly in terms of moving forward.
Okay.
Just like a management discussion.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Very good suggestion.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Maraming mga bata dito na sinasaway-saway ko. Yeah. So, do we have other matters for discussion, Sister Sen? Please turn on your... Yes. Yeah.
Saan yan?
Ayan na. Ayan.
Okay na?
Opo.
Okay. Yeah. I would like other matters. I would like to inform everybody and show everybody our Marian Family Cenacles of Prayer t-shirt. That's why
Yeah.
I am wearing it.
Very nice.
Okay, just to inform everybody, tapos na. And then some, I already given to Sister Mila, the ones for Brother Orly and Susie and Sister Susie, the ones for Brother Buboy and Sister Alice, and of course you, Brother Rommel and Sister Mila, and for your son and daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
I hope I received the payment. I will give you all. By the way, the ones for Brother Joe Marlo and for Brother Eugene is with Brother Ed, and also The one for Francis Loque, it's already been given to Brother Ed. Thank you. I will just text you my bank account, whether it's BPI, PNB, or Security Bank. But I suggest deposit it in Security Bank, less depositors, less people there, unlike in BPI. Okay? Thank you.
Sister, as for the information of the board, I am leaving for Canada on July 1st.
July 1st.
So you can send me the pictures for Sister Linda and Brother Mark.
Oh yeah, I'm still waiting for the others and waiting for the payment from Sister Rose Fernandez. Transpass.
And
Have
From
we
the
been paid?
Canada people.
and for the information of everybody, once I leave in July, I won't be back until September now. So I'll be gone for 3 months. Why? Because my social services is supposed to be cut off by the government of Canada. So when I get there, I will be quarantined for 2 weeks. So I will not be able to work for 2 weeks. But when I'm there, I have still so many things to do, but I can still join our meetings online, right? And I won't be back until September 1st, I guess. Yeah, September 1st. June, July, August, September. No, September 30. 3 months. I'm given 3 months. I have to prove why government of Canada will not cut off my social services. Okay.
Okay. Noted.
They cannot cut off my citizenship. They cannot cut off my citizenship, but they can cut off my social services, like medical services, pension plan, driver's license. Mark, we were able to handle that problem already. I got my driver's license back.
Your license is fine.
Yeah, I got it back. You know how I defended it, right?
That's,
All right,
Thank you, brother.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Sen.
Yeah. Another matter.
Yes.
Regarding the signatories of our account with Security Bank, right now, the signatories are me, Brother Ed, and Sister Virgie. Any two. We have to change it or add more signatories in case Brother Ed and Sister Virgie is not available. And I am the one always available. So we should add, I suggest Brother Romel or Brother Eugene, both of you, to be part of the signatories. I have the forms from Security Bank here, which should be signed by you, if you agree, if it's okay with you. I will send it to you. And the requirements you have to, or we can do this when we can meet personally already after the COVID, maybe. I hope it will end soon.
Thank you, sisters. And any comments from the board?
I understand that, Mr. Chair, that there should be 2 signatures appearing on any transaction. The authorized signatory classified as signatory A should be likewise 2. And signatory B, meaning counter signatory, should likewise be 2. But any combination of signatory A and signatory B will do it. Just that if anyone in signatory A is not present, then the alternate of signatory A can make it. And the same vice versa, the same way with signatory B. May I suggest, therefore, na authorized signatories, meaning signature classified as A, should be the treasurer and Brother Ed, no? And, or rather, it would be more appropriate to have Sister Zen as treasurer and perhaps the chairman, Brother Romel, a authorized signatory. And counter signatories would be both I and Brother Ed, if the board will agree.
Thank you, Brother Eugene. Can we hear from the board on the suggestion of Brother Eugene?
Point of clarification, Bro Eugene, as may understanding, yung binanggit niyo po is signatory A is Brother Ed and Sister Zen as the treasurer. Signatory B, Brother Romel and Brother Eugene. Is that the right, Bro?
It's very difficult. Perhaps it would be signatory A would be Sister Zen and Brother Romel.
Okay.
And counter signatory, meaning authorized signatory B, would be myself and Brother Ed.
So that means for the signatory A is treasurer and chairman, and counter signatory is president and trustee. Member.
Immediate past president.
Immediate president. Past president. Sister Sen?
I would like to add some more.
Opo.
Okay. Can this take effect after the submission with the SEC? Para, I mean, tapos na yung, plantado muna yun up to that time. Yung up to the filing of the ITR with the BIR and up to the filing, a submission of the financial statement with SEC. Kung pwede mag-take effect after June 30. So that would be July 1. Brother, I cannot hear you.
Would it be all right, Sister Sen, to have the turnover of accountabilities before Brother Ed goes to Canada, meaning during our meeting of the last Saturday of June?
Okay. Okay. Last Saturday of June. Okay.
Brother, Sister Sen.
Hi, Steve. Brother
Pwede
Steve.
naman mag-take effect yung signatories.
Later. Pwede na gawin today.
Pwede every year, mag-renew ka sa SEC. I-renew mo lang yung GIS, sino yung...
yeah, I already did. I already did.
So next year, i-renew mo na yung bagong additional signatories.
Yes. This year, we already did file with the SEC. Yeah. Ito, when it comes to the bank nito.
Okay.
I already have the forms with me before the COVID, before the quarantine. Kaya lang wala na, hindi na nakita-kita.
Alright.
At ito, naayos na eh.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Another point, Mr. Chair, baka makatulong kasi bawal lumabas ng bahay ang mga seniors kapag naka-lockdown.
Opo.
Kasi they are more vulnerable to the virus. Not unless pag general quarantine, na you will be allowed if you are going to earn a living. So we would be needing an ID signifying that you are chairman and you are going to your office to earn a living. Would they provide for
Brother Eugene? Brother Eugene?
an ID?
Excuse me, Brother Eugene?
For each
Chachapi.
Brother Eugene?
of the membership.
Nagsabi si Brother Eugene.
Kailangan i-refresh.
Brother Eugene? Sa signal mo po?
Yep.
Nag-choppy.
Nawawala siya. Oh, si Brother Eugene.
Ano po? Opo, go ahead.
Brother Eugene, wala po kaming naintindihan doon sa sinabi.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yung signal ay napuputol.
Using a phone this, eh? Okay. How is it right now? Hello?
Yan.
Right
Okay na. Ganon pa rin, Brother Eugene.
Baka naglo-lowbat.
Refresh mo na lang po siguro. Wala. Nawala na. Sister Sen, wala kang sound.
O nga, ano? Brother Romel.
Opo.
Regarding to, before, kahit wala si Brother Ed, wala kami problema. Kasi ako normally talaga nag-withdraw from the account. And then, I send Brother Ed, ano itong mga items na withdraw. Payment for this, and that. Naka-Excel yon. Ngayon, kahit wala si Brother Ed, merong pre-signed withdrawal slip.
Opo.
So, bali, dalawa-dalawa yan. So, pre-signed na. In case of ikaw or ako ito, di ba? A, and B, Eugene and Brother Ed. Pareho silang malayo, no? Di ba? Brother Ed, babalik ng Canada. Brother Eugene, malayo, San Pablo.
Opo.
Papa-pre-sign ko na sa kanya. And then the other one, it's either you or me. Di ba? Tama ba yun, brother? Oo. So, ganun na lang. Then, I will just send the Excel report on that particular month. Actually, ginagawa ko Excel. Every month yun. Pero, the whole year yun for the whole year. Tapos may explanation yung sa baba. Ito withdraw, ito yung mga items na pinuntahan. Ito yung tinanggap na donation from Marian Cenacles, ito yung pinuntahan, binayaran, ito yung Ganun, every month yon. Merong naka-document yon. So, ang suggestion ko lang, since Brothers Eugene and Brother Ed, mahirap sila, malayo sila, pre-signed na nila yon. What do you think, brother? What do you think, brothers and sisters?
Thank you, Sister Sen. Medyo mga kahirapan nga yung yung situation na yon. And may problema din tayo sa sa pre-signed document. Di ko lang alam pero sa sa auditing or sa practice mukhang questionable yun. It's a questionable practice to have pre-signed negotiable instrument. Withdrawal.
Kasi I withdraw once a month, brother, to pay the bills.
Can we hear from the board any suggestion or comments? Brother Steve.
Yeah, for me, because of this COVID season, it's practical na pre-signed. Pero for security reason, one signature lang. The final signature being when Zen goes for withdrawal. Para kung mawala yung withdrawal slip, hindi ma-withdraw ng whoever else.
Yes, definitely.
Diba?
Yes, brother.
So pagbalik ng normal pwede na rin wala ng pre-signed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yun lang.
Thank you, Brother Steve.
Okay.
Brother Eugene.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me?
May sinasabi ka kanina hindi namin narinig.
Before Brother Eugene makes a comment, may I just make a comment?
Opo, Brother Ed.
Of course, number one, it's in violation of auditing principles, no? But we don't. That's the reason why this is not part of the minutes, ha? Ito pinag-uusapan natin.
Opo.
This should not be. In fact, while Brother Steve is recording this, you see to that this is not part of the final recording. Itong ginagawa natin. This is only for us for internal purpose.
Okay.
Me personally, I have done it before, so I'm not in a position to contradict that my position. But I totally agree with Brother Steve, as long as that signed portion is not countersigned, right? Because after all, we're all after the security, right? So that's what we should do. As I've said, I'm not in a position to contradict my practice. But of course, our auditor is not aware of that. And when we make this minutes, it's not part of this minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Brother Ed. Brother Eugene, can you please ulit yung sinabi mo kanina? Di namin na-pick up sa problema sa linya.
Actually, it's about the signal talaga eh. Hirap yung nasa probinsya eh. Alright, it's about issuing IDs for, at least for the officers and the members of the Board of Trustees who may sooner or later have to meet. No, we cannot leave our homes not unless we are about to go to work, and we will be required to present IDs. Perhaps an official ID can be issued by the Marian Cenacles to be provided each and every officers and members of the board. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brother Eugene. So we need to have IDs.
Kaya ba, Sister Sen?
Right, kayang gawin, of course. Pero sa finances natin, I do not know yet. Kasi actually, every month we don't have enough donations to pay all the bills.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is it need not come from the funds of the Cenacles, but it could likewise come from the personal funds of the officers and members.
Pwede, kung ganon. Pwede, kung ganon.
It would be good to draft an ID format and then agree on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. how we can ID more I don't have the word.
So who will do it?
Basta,
Who's supposed to do
as soon as possible sana kasi baka biglang magtapos na itong ECQ eh.
I
We won't
see.
really be needing it anymore.
So who will do the drafting of the who can help us draft the ID?
Brother Steve, pwede ka?
I can help and drafting. Give me a guide. Yung iba, papalitan lang natin logo. Pero at least meron tayong draft na I can follow. Send it to me and I'll give you the draft.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Steve. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I think we have covered everything. And meron pa po ba kayong other matters?
Mr. Chair, perhaps it may be best to schedule a management session through Zoom from among the project leads, Brother Ed and Brother Francis. If you can possibly coordinate this.
Okay. Okay. Within the next few days or next week?
Next week will be fine.
Any suggestion for date suitable to the majority who are joining? The 9 o'clock is okay with us. 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock masyado. Nagsisimba.
Any comments on the time and the day? At least we can be comfortable on the day and time for the majority.
Mr. Chair, perhaps unahin muna natin yung availability ni Brother Francis.
Brother Francis. Okay. Okay.
And then magtawagan na lang.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I will coordinate with him again.
Thank you, Brother Ed.
When do you want to schedule that, Brother Eugene?
Perhaps either on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, brother.
Okay. I hope by that time you have already forwarded the formal letters to Brother Francis para
Yes.
para maintindihan niya yung ano yung gusto. Para you know, we don't have to do any explanation. Although I have already
That is
explained
true.
to him, but I think it's just good for him to say yes. Let's go with this.
Just to get from his end his confirmation on what we intend to do.
Okay, thank you. By the way po, going back to the signatories, do we need motion and a second motion on that? And make it as a resolution?
I'll motion it.
Sorry, Brother Mark.
I'll do the motion.
Thank you, brother.
So,
Need a second motion?
I second the motion.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Brother Mark and Brother Boboy. So we have signatory A, treasurer and chairman, and counter signatories, president and immediate past president, Brother Ed. Just to recap. So I think that's it. Brother Ed? That's a Brother Ed.
Oh,
Hello? Brother Ed?
Sorry, naka-unmute ako.
Thank you.
Okay.
Na-cover na siguro natin, Brother Ed.
Yeah, I think so. We've covered it.
And
Any other, I don't know, from the board, any more inputs or comments from the other members? Nothing on my side.
Brother Steve and Brother Mark.
Hi, very good. Okay lang.
Thank you po.
I'm okay, Chairman.
Thank you po.
So,
Okay.
our usual closing prayers of our president.
Okay.
Written stone na yan. The two opening prayers are the two ladies and the closing prayers. Brother Eugene. Okay.
parang 10 Commandments, Einstein eh. Baka ihagis ni Moises eh.
Oh.
Let's place ourselves in the presence of God. Diyos, aming Ama, marami pong salamat sa pagkakataong ibinigay ninyo upang kami magkakatipon-tipon sa pamamagitan ng bagong teknolohiyang ito. Sa pangalan mo, Panginoon, kami ay nagtitiwala na lahat na napag-usapan namin sa araw na ito na maisa sa katuparan sa tulong ninyo sa intercession ng aming ina si Birhing Maria na inyong ina. Hinihiling namin, Panginoon, na patnubayan mo kami sa araw-araw, lalo na sa pagtalima namin sa iyong kagustuhan, mapalaganap ang iyong banal na kagustuhan, gayon din ang pag-aasikaso sa mga nagdarahop at naghihirap naming mga kapatid, hindi lamang sa Pilipinas, kung hindi sa buong mundo. Bigyan mo kami, Panginoon, ng matulungin puso upang kami magkaisa na harapin ang challenge na ito, na i-uplift ang kalalagayan ng aming mga kapatid. Hinihiling namin, Panginoon, na sa pamamagitan mo at ng iyong banal na Espiritu, kami ay maliwanagan, baguhin ang aming pananaw, ang aming puso, upang lalong maging kaaya-aya sa iyong harapan. At kami pagdating ng panahon ay makasama mo, kasama na iyo na si Birhing Maria. Inihiling namin, Panginoon, sa pamamagitan ng iyong anak na si Jesus na nabubuhay at naghaharing kasama mo at kaysa ng Espiritu Santo, magpasawalang hanggan.
Amen.
Amen.
Mother Mary has been with us in all these meetings. Okay. Thank you very much. On my side, I'm signing off.
Signing out.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, brother.
Thank you
Bye.
all. Thank you all. Bye.
bye-bye.